Welcome back to Lion Recaps. Today I will show you an American cyberpunk action film from 2019, titled Alita, Battle Angel. At the onset of the movie, it is disclosed that 300 years have passed since the conclusion of a worldwide strife recognized as the World War, implying that the event took place within the previous 3 centuries and caused considerable devastation across the globe. The film portrays a spacecraft carrying people from different nations who have been dumping their refuse on Earth. Eventually, a scientist stumbles upon a unique robot among the rubbish. It is not an ordinary machine, but a hybrid of human and machine. The scientist carries the robot to his abode and successfully repairs it, even building a new body. The next day, the robot, a female, comes to life and is elated with her new form. She then queries the scientist, "Who am I? How did I end up here? Where do I come from?" Unfortunately, the scientist is unaware of her origins and chooses not to divulge any information. Instead, he simply informs her that her body was partly damaged when they found her in the garbage, but her mind was intact, and they mended her body accordingly. The doctor explains that a new human body has been attached to the robot and takes her outside to see the world. The female robot becomes excited as she observes the city and catches a glimpse of the spaceship. She queries the scientist about what she is seeing and whether it is a real world. He informs her that it is the last remaining city after the World War and its name is Sky City. He further explains that life in Sky City is pleasant and everyone aspires to live there, as the upper class resides there while the lower class inhabits their world. The doctor then gives her a name, Alita. Upon hearing her name, Alita expresses delight. The robotic doctor proceeds to inform her that all the residents of their world work for Sky City, as it houses many fields, industries, and factories. Later, Alita meets a boy named Hugo who admires her robotic body for its strength. They quickly become good friends. However, that same night, a girl is found murdered in the city. It is revealed that there is a notorious criminal who targets and kills young women, selling their body parts afterward. That same night, Alita sees the scientist returning home with blood-stained hands, which makes her suspect that he may be the killer behind the recent murders in the city. The next day, the scientist's ex-wife visits him, revealing that the human body Alita was attached to is actually that of their deceased daughter, whom the scientist had donated to be used for Alita's new form. Later, Hugo invites Alita to join him in a well-known game in the city. Alita impresses everyone with her exceptional skills in the game and emerges as the winner. Hugo takes her to his favorite place, the roof of a building from where they can view the entire city and see Sky City in the distance. He points up the largest pipe and tells Alita that all objects come to Earth from Sky City through that pipe. Hugo shares his dream of reaching Sky City, and Alita asks him to describe what it looks like. Hugo then reveals that the scientist discovered Alita in the garbage. The garbage that Alita was found in was from Sky City, which means that she may have originally come from there. However, she has no memories of her past and has forgotten everything. The next day, Alita follows the doctor outside and realizes that he is not a killer but a hunter-warrior who hunts down criminals for a reward. The bodies of the criminals are then taken to a factory. Alita learns about the doctor's true identity and profession. At that very moment, the serial killer approached. This was the same assassin who had been targeting young women, despite residing in the city. Alita displayed exceptional courage and confronted the killer head-on, delivering a beating that forced him to retreat. Meanwhile, Alita successfully eliminated the other killer. Afterward, Alita and the doctor proceeded to the factory, bringing with them the head of the escaped killer and claiming the reward of $20. It was during this time that the doctor revealed his backstory to Alita, explaining how he became known as a hunter-warrior and the events that led up to this transformation. The doctor proceeded to share the tale of a time when he lived with his wife and daughter. On one fateful day, a robot that he had created abducted their daughter right from their home. This incident caused the doctor to become infuriated with the robot, leading him to damage the very creation he had made. In the aftermath of this traumatic experience, the doctor became a hunter-warrior. It was around this time that a man named Vector entered the picture. Vector was the leader of the race game, which the doctor's wife was also involved in. The doctor then revealed that his wife had been tricked into working with Vector, who had promised to send her to the Sky City. It turned out that his wife was also a doctor who worked for Vector. Meanwhile, the same robot that had been damaged by Alita made an appearance before Vector. The robot informed him that Alita was responsible for the damage it had suffered, to which Vector responded with disdain, mocking the robot for being beaten by a mere girl. However, the robot corrected him, stating that Alita was not just any girl but rather a formidable opponent. Vector instructed the robot to bring Alita before him, following her damage at its hands. In the meantime, Hugo took Alita to see the race game, revealing that the winner would be sent to the coveted Sky City. Alita was thrilled at the prospect, and Hugo then showed her a ship that belonged to the enemies of the past. Alita was captivated by the vessel and eventually jumped into the water to explore it. She soon discovered a highly advanced technological body aboard the ship. Alita retrieved the advanced body from the ship and brought it to the doctor, requesting that he fix it and replace her current body with it. However, the doctor refused, warning Alita that this body was incredibly powerful and had built-in weapons that could make her a threat to humanity if she were to use it. Despite the doctor's objections, Alita became angry and confrontational. She eventually left and headed to the factory, where she decided to become a hunter-warrior herself. Later, she went to a club with Hugo. At the club, all the hunters of the city were present, and Alita incited them to take action against Vector's killer robot, which had already claimed countless lives and continued to wreak havoc. One of the hunters ridiculed Alita for her small size, questioning how she could possibly become a hunter-warrior. Alita responded by confronting and defeating him in a physical confrontation, leaving all the other hunters shocked at her strength and resolve. Suddenly, Vector's upgraded robot appeared and attacked Alita, who fought back with all her strength. The robot, realizing it was no match for Alita, fled into an underground tunnel, with Alita in hot pursuit. A fierce battle ensued between the two, but in the end, the robot proved to be too powerful, dismembering Alita's body. Hugo and the doctor arrived just in time to witness the aftermath of the fight and fought the robot, eventually destroying it by setting it on fire. The robot quickly flees the scene to ensure its survival while the doctor takes Alita's severely damaged body home. With no other options available, the doctor uses a replacement body, which Alita had discovered on a ship, to repair her damaged body. When Alita wakes up the next morning, she feels comfortable and pleased with her new, powerful body, which is capable of producing fire. Eager to show off her new form, Alita visits Hugo the following day. Upon seeing Alita's impressive new body, Hugo is pleased and impressed. He shares with Alita his desire to travel to Sky City, but explains that one needs to have a certain number of scores in order to gain entry, which can be obtained either by killing someone or winning the race game. In response, Alita selflessly offers her powerful robotic heart to Hugo, encouraging him to sell it to gain the necessary scores for his journey to Sky City. Alita's robotic heart is not an ordinary one, it possesses a significant amount of power. In fact, the heart's energetic rays are so strong that it could potentially power the city for several months. Despite this, Hugo refuses to take Alita's heart, believing that it is too important for her to part with. Instead, he encourages her to use her unique abilities and take part in the race game, assuring her that he believes she can win. Hugo is confident that they will both be able to travel to Sky City together if Alita emerges victorious in the race. Upon hearing Hugo's suggestion, Alita agrees to participate in the race without hesitation. Her strong feelings for him drive her to take on this challenge. However, things take a dangerous turn when Vector appears on the scene and hires a group of hunters and killers to eliminate Alita. In order to entice them to carry out his wishes, he offers a reward of 5 million scores, which is the necessary amount to enter Sky City. Among the hunters is the one that Alita had previously defeated at the club, seeking revenge on her for the humiliation he suffered. In his quest for revenge, the hunter accuses Hugo of being responsible for the death of a man. Falsely accused, Hugo is forced to turn to a life of crime. Meanwhile, Alita prepares to participate in the race despite the danger posed by the other killers. The other participants in the race, all hired by Vector, become her opponents and begin attacking her. However, Alita proves to be a formidable fighter and successfully defeats them one by one. In the midst of the race, Alita receives a call from Hugo. Hugo informs her that he is being targeted by the hunter seeking revenge, and Alita decides to leave the race to rescue him. She confronts the hunter and defeats him in a brutal fight. However, it is later revealed that Hugo has been branded a criminal and is wanted by the authorities, with a $30 reward for his capture. The police arrive on the scene, and the public consensus is that Hugo should be apprehended and brought to justice. Despite the public's calls for Hugo to be killed, Alita refuses to carry out such an act. Unfortunately, the hunter manages to fatally wound Hugo with a sword, and he takes his last breaths in front of Alita. At this point, the doctor's wife intervenes and suggests that they preserve Hugo's head so that they can attach it to a new robotic body, effectively bringing him back to life. Alita agrees and sets out to do just that. In front of everyone, she dismantles Hugo's head and later takes it to a doctor who fixes it onto another body, successfully reviving Hugo. Both Hugo and Alita are thrilled that Hugo now has a robotic body like Alita's. However, the doctor warns Alita that Vector deceives people by promising to send them to Sky City in exchange for large sums of money. It's revealed that no human can go to Sky City, regardless of the amount of money they pay. Only the city's inhabitants can visit and live there, and the winner of a race has the opportunity to ascend from this world to Sky City. The doctor also confides in Alita that he and his wife were born in Sky City and came to this world for their daughter's treatment, but ended up trapped here. Upon hearing this, Alita becomes angry and sets out to kill Vector. Alita heads straight to the factory where she is ambushed by Vector's machines. However, with her new powerful robotic body, Alita easily defeats each machine one by one, destroying them as she goes. Eventually, she makes her way to Vector, but he unleashes his own robot to fight her. In the ensuing battle, Alita is wounded and falls to the ground. As she lies there, she suddenly remembers details of her past. As her lost memories flood back, Alita remembers that she was once a warrior who fought in a world war that took place over 300 years ago. All of her friends and companions perished in the war, and Alita herself was badly wounded and left for dead in the garbage. With her memories restored, Alita realizes that the owner of Sky City was responsible for the destruction of her companions and had left her for dead. Determined to avenge her fallen comrades, Alita remembers her mission to defeat the owner of Sky City. As the memories of her fallen friends flood back, Alita is overcome with sadness and anger. Suddenly, the robot attacking her becomes the target of her rage, and she swiftly dismembers it with her sword. Continuing her mission, Alita charges towards Vector, brandishing her sword and delivering a fatal blow. Just then, Alita receives a call from the doctor informing her that Hugo is on his way to Sky City by climbing up the pipes. Alita follows Hugo and catches up to him as he climbs the pipes. She tells him that they don't need to go to Sky City and that they can find happiness right where they are. Hugo agrees, but the owner of Sky City, who had been watching them from above, attacks them with a weapon. The attack leaves Hugo's body completely dismembered, and Alita holds onto his hand as he falls from a great height. However, Alita accidentally loses her grip on Hugo's hand, and he falls to his death. Alita is devastated by the loss of her friend, and she begins to weep uncontrollably. Filled with a desire for vengeance after Hugo's death, Alita resolves to head to Sky City and put an end to its owner. It is revealed that Alita has won the race and is now pointing her sword up towards Sky City. She shouts a challenge to the owner, declaring that she will come and make him suffer for his crimes. The movie ends on this intense moment, leaving the outcome of Alita's mission to the viewer's imagination. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.